Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Roger and Jiva.
The locusts. One night there is a dull roar in the heavens, as of a demon seized with an agonizing gripe.
There is a rumble to the east, which moves slowly to the low-lying wooded hills to the west,
Screaming its fury as it passes over the huts and houses huddled in the darkness below.
The trees bend and lift their shivering branches upwards, their leaves hissing and their roots struggling to hold on to the soil.
Flashes of lightning dart like swallows across the sky. Until now, the village had feared a drought. The men had scanned the sky and seen only wisps of cloud wandering like lost souls. The countryside had been browned and blistered.
The mango blossoms, which flowered like stars, had withered.
Because of this dread in their hearts, people had quarreled over trifles.
Nadason, the potter, had so beaten his wife that she had run screaming to take refuge in her mother's house.
Sir Brian, the barber, armed with a razor, had laid siege to Kumarappa's house because the latter's wife had squirted pan juice on his pumpkin patch.
Now that the rain has come,
A new moon comes over the village.
Nadason's wife is running in the rain. Back to her husband, she laughs.
Sir Brian folds his razor and says, what's the use of slitting the old rogue's throat now? The rain will wash away the pan juice from my pumpkin patch. In his shop, Tulasi sits and listens to the rain and smiles. Yes, everything will be different in the village now. There'll be work to do tomorrow.
The fierce pattern above reminds him of a leaf in his thatch roof.
Hey, woman!
He calls out to his wife.
A bucket, quick! No, the biggest one you can find.
He limps away with a bucket, for one of his legs is crooked.
He returns, lies down on a straw mat, and thinks it was about time he had his roof thatched.
The drip, drip, drip of the rain into the bucket soon puts him to sleep.
Tulasi wakes.
To find his wife complaining that the bucket has overflowed and made a mess of the down floor outside. He finds that the sun is already out and has given the wet leaves and grass a rich sparkle.
The air is full of the exciting smells of the flowers and the earth. Even his crippled foot feels a strange tremor.
The women folk are already washing at the well.
The children jumping into puddles and screaming their lungs out.
Annamal, the milkmaid, passes by with an earthen vessel balanced on her head. She holds herself erect and plants each foot slowly but firmly forward.
The graceful swing of her broad hips makes him wish that he were young again. Animal, how beautiful you have grown this morning. Surely the wedding drums will beat for you this season. Even my heart has succumbed to your charms.
Annamal is so seized with embarrassment, she nearly drops her vessel of milk. Let me be uncle to listen. I nearly spilt my milk.
And she walks away with the grace of a goddess.
Thinking of Surya, whose matchmaker had already talked matters over with her father. After the harvest, the wedding drums will throb for her.
Tulasi chuckled at laughter. Everything about him was so full of new life and sounds that his heart could not contain the ecstasy he felt. Where does all this happiness come from? Yesterday and the day before and the day before that, there was only bitterness and sorrow. Today, there is so much joy that I want to sing and dance like that crazy cowherd Velu. Yes, where does it all come from? From the heart, from the richness of the earth. Before him stretched a sheet of white, scintillating water, broken only by the dark mud ducts that separated one field from the other. Far away, the hills were tinted blue.
Overhead, the clouds, light as milk foams, tumbled and spread in the sky.
Men were already at work. The warm water came up to their knees and they were splattered in mud.
They struggled with wooden plows as pairs of bullocks went round and round.
Selassie saw the men, small and dark against the vast sheet of water, sky and shining mud, moving like so many silent, lonely souls.
One man halted his flood and wiped the sweat wearily off his brow.
Here and there, men scattered their seeds from baskets as they struggled, threw them out. And nostalgia seized Selassie. Ah, if only he had land of his own to plough and sow and reap. Once he had worked on his father's lands, but his father had to sell it to pay off his debts. With the little that was left, Selassie's father had opened a shop which, after his father's death, he now ran.
In his shop, he sold dal and salt, ghee and oil.
He even had tinned stuffs, which came from far-off lands.
But since not many of the farmers could afford to buy them, he kept them as decoration, taking care to blow the dust off them.
Some of the tinned food had even gone bad. Once the washerman's wife had bought a tin of fruit for her son, and afterwards had complained that he had convulsions.
He sold clothes too, most of them cheap foreign materials, which the farmers bought. The native colour was too expensive for the villagers.
Expensive? But think of it, brother. It's real colour, made in our own country, in our own mills, by our own people. Think of it, brother. One day you will see the Europeans will come to buy their clothes from us.
But now, as he looked at the fields and smelled the earth, he could not forget that he was still a farmer.
The earth is rich, and when men sweat, it will pour its riches into their laps. Within a few weeks, there was a splendid harvest.
The countryside was ablaze with yellow streaks of fire. When the wind ruffled the cornfields, there was a pleasant hum in the air.
Hey, Nesamba, called out Selassie one morning to one of the best reapers in the village. I hear you are harvesting today?
Yes! Can you not hear them? They are singing already.
Yes, it will be hard work, huh?
Hard and very hot.
When Selassie limped towards the fields, he heard the children, caught in a wild impulse, run shrieking through the yellow mass of corn. Knives and scythes flashed in the sun. Knives and scythes flashed in the sun. The corn stalks fell. The women followed and tied them up in sheaves. Behind them, the soil was a brown stone.
The hours passed. Tulasi heard someone shout. Men collected together, and there was a loud commotion.
Hey, brothers, what is it? Has the sky fallen down?
The men did not laugh.
One of the men held a large, reddish insect between his fingers. It was evil-looking, with sharp, greedy mouth and furry, long legs. It struggled, kicking its legs and moving its hungry jaws.
Overhead, the birds were already after a few of the stray locusts that flew about.
Far away, over the hills, was a dark, apparently unmoving haze. So, thought Selassie, has all the toil come to this?
He was thinking of the acres and acres of unreaped fields. He looked at the drawn, tired faces of men, helpless before the merciless invader.
And a vast aching filled his heart.
The man crushed the red insect between his fingers and threw it away.
Then the men set to work feverishly to save what little of the crops they could.
The dark haze over the hill grew and spread.
There was no more singing in the fields. By next afternoon there was a drone, louder and louder.
Women began to wail.
Old men muttered prayers between their long white beards.
The reapers stared silently at the vast tracts of ungathered corn. What shall we do? What shall we do?
We shall starve. Who will feed the little ones?
Mercy, O God, mercy!
Mercy for your wearied children. And there was mercy. For the locusts cast their shadows over the crops and moved on without alighting on the crops.
When the drone had died away, the people whooped with joy.
Selassie laughed and laughed till the tears ran down his cheeks. It was as if his own crops had been spared. He was happy for his comrades. Now there would be plenty for the hungry, weary people. God has been merciful, he said, as he walked back to his shop. The earth has been merciful.
Tulasi!
Yes, even the locusts have been merciful.
Tulasi! He was so happy. He did not hear Nagamadalya call out to him. Tulasi!
Oh, forgive me, Modalia. I was so engrossed I didn't see you. The locusts might have ruined these poor people.
The locusts might have ruined me too,
Said Nagamadalya, who owned most of the land in the village.
And was greedy for yet more.
Shiva be praised for that. Otherwise these rogues would have cheated me out of my due. Hey, what is the matter with you? There is a strange look on your face.
The joy had gone out of Tulassi's heart. He was suddenly thinking of Sand, the moneylender.
He was thinking of the tax collector.
He was thinking of the Brahmin priest. Oh, nothing, Modalia, said Tulassi. I was thinking of one of the locusts a farmer crushed between his fingers yesterday. He crushed it and threw it away.
Hey, what are you talking about?
Forgive me, Modalia. I was just wondering about the locusts and if we will ever be rid of them.